Scottie Pippen explains what made him realize Michael Jordan is much better than LeBron James.
Well, I will say Michael, he was built different, competitive 24/7. Not too many people are built like that.
I agree.
Willing to compete at any level and at anything. So when you look at these players in today's era, being LeBron, there's really no comparison when you talk about the level of competitiveness. Michael bunched up all of his competitiveness and sort of exposed it out to the world within 12 to 14 years. We saw his whole resume, his competitiveness, his drive, his will to win, what he's want to do. When someone like LeBron has to spread that out for 20 plus years, it's not the same drive. It's not the same fight. It's not the same hunger. And so when people try to make those comparisons of those two players, it's like talking to someone in the front seat and the back seat. They ain't even in the same lane.
Did you see today? By the way, what a freaking point you just made. Condensing time frames. You know, I don't know if you saw the stat today. Who posted it that said, yes, LeBron may have passed Michael in the most 30-point games. It'll take another 32 years to pass Michael in 40-point games, right?
Yeah, it's like...
He sat down with Patrick Bet-David on the PBD podcast. He basically said that LeBron has to basically elongate his career in order to match Michael Jordan's greatness. As you guys saw him explain, Michael Jordan came in like a supernova, right? He had a shorter career. You know, you could basically say 13 years, but we'll call it 15 since he came back for those last 2 seasons. But in those 15 years, Michael Jordan has 6 rings, 5 MVPs, 6 finals MVPs, defensive player of the year, 10 scoring titles. The list goes on and on and on. Well, LeBron James is in year 22. He's 4-6 in the NBA finals. Yes, he surpassed 40,000 points, but, you know, I watched the video where they were trying to, you know, crack numbers on Jordan's career if he would have continued to play. And within like 20 years, he was going to have like 45,000 points. So, like, you can make your career longer. And, you know, there's greatness to that. No doubt about it, right? But it doesn't really, you know, like, make you that much greater than someone else who played less and accomplished more than you. Patrick Bet-David brought up, you know, the point of LeBron in year 22, passing Michael Jordan for most 30-point games. 7+ seasons later, he finally passes Michael Jordan for the most 30-point games. 7+ seasons later. So, congrats, but, you know, this guy was able to do it in 15 seasons. You guys are wondering, what about 40-point games? Michael's still up on that. Year 22, LeBron still has yet to match Michael for most 40-point games. 50, Michael's still up on that. 60, Michael's still up on that. So, you have 40,000 plus points in your career, but as a scorer, Michael Jordan was much better at a, you know, lower clip. Again, Michael Jordan was a supernova in the league. He wasn't, you know, in the league to be in the league for a long, long time and just, you know, go into his 40s playing in the league. He was in the league to be basically great for a short amount of time. And he accomplished all of that. He's able to be called the greatest player of all time while playing only 15 seasons. He didn't need to go above that. Scottie, you know, basically explaining that makes a lot of sense. Now, for, you know, LeBron fans who will always, you know, make things personal and think that someone's hating on LeBron just because they're bringing up facts, just remember, in this same podcast, Scottie Pippen talks about how he hasn't talked to Michael Jordan in years. They're on bad terms. Like him and Michael Jordan, he explains that they weren't really friends. While they were great teammates, they weren't really friends.
Why is the tension so high with anything related to Michael? You and Michael, Barkley and Michael.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just think that Michael is a very difficult person to deal with. I played with him for years, so I know that, when it's time for you to move in your direction, then go in your direction. Don't sit there and try to procrastinate or stretch it. That the relationship is not where it was or not what it used to be, and it's never going to be the same. So why try and make something out of nothing, or try to make something that was never there? So,
yeah.
Great teammate, but we just never were great friends.
Never, even when you guys played.
No.
And that they're on bad terms. They haven't talked in years. And so, if you think he's over here, basically sticking up for Michael because he was his teammate and all of these things, stop. He's just telling it like it is. LeBron, as great as he is, as long as he has played, longevity doesn't mean everything. You know what I mean? If you can't match the 6 rings in 22 seasons, if you can't, you just surpassed the most 30-point games. You haven't even caught up to 40, 50, 60. You haven't done all these things. 10 scoring titles. I think LeBron has 1 or 2, if I'm not mistaken. I think 1. 10 scoring titles in Michael Jordan's career. Defensive Player of the Year. LeBron's never gotten that. Amount of times he was on all NBA defense. We're talking about 22 seasons. He has yet to match all of these things. Yet people want to talk about, what about 40,000 points? Well, Michael Jordan was a better scorer, even though he played less seasons. And he doesn't call himself the GOAT.
This accomplishment, combined with all your others, vault you over the Johnsons and Birds and Russells and Chamberlains and
No. I think that's something that I really can't say can be established. Each one of us play in our different eras with different teams, with different levels of success. And to compare all of them and say one's better than the next, it's an unfair justice to the art or to the artists. Being that Magic Johnson, Wilt Chamberlain, all the guys before me were the artists of this game of basketball. And
LeBron calls himself the greatest player to ever do it.
At that moment, I was like, I'm the greatest basketball player people have ever seen in all facets.
So I don't know how this is a discussion all the time. The man is in year 22 and he has yet to match Michael Jordan for 6. Enough. All right. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, subscribe, share. I appreciate it. Peace.